Anyone has any questions? Many people ask about what is surrender. Maybe we can take up that. Mickey, you want to ask something?
Yes, I wanted to share my experience. When I think of Maharshi, I feel a sense of a luminous sense. It's like a sense of light inside my head. And it brings a sense of peace. And so his very image has something incredible about it. And I don't want to think too much about it, but there's this opening, and every time I want to start sitting and meditating, his very image takes me to a new place.
When we have reverence for someone, one who is liberated, the very image can help. Image becomes an indirect means to be there. More we have devotion, more we have love and respect, more it becomes reality for us. That image brings us to that self. And this is known in ancient Indian tradition for so long. That is why we have images, idols in temples, at home, and we use them liberally all the time. Though at the same time we also know that Absolute has no name, no form, no image. And that Absolute is not external, but internal. But sometimes to know our own reality, we have to see the mirror. In mirror, we can see our image, we can correct it. So all these images, external, helps us to reach reality, and they are very useful. Bhagavan moved from Madurai to Tirunavalai. He stayed at Arunachala. He was a devotee of Arunachala. He called Arunachala as his father and also called him and Arunachala as one. Adoring Arunachala, respecting Arunachala. One can get the same feeling what you are getting seeing Bhagavan's image. That is another support people can use. And this is being used for ages. It says in Arunachala Puranam and other old scriptures that thinking about Arunachala, seeing the picture of Arunachala, staying in Arunachala, all these leads to mukti, liberation. Bhagavan's image, picture does the same. It brings us to the source. His eyes, his face reflects our own self. That is why we are so attracted to it. And self is supreme bliss and peace. When mind comes back, it calls an experience. But it's not an experience, it is our own reality. Unchanging reality. This body and all the word what the mind shows us is illusory, is from Maya. But if we come to our own self, by surrendering our separate individuality, then we become one with that. Arunachala, Ramana, all images, places, all coming in our own vision through mind, is all grace, helping us to come back, realizing the truth within us, entering in this space of pure awareness, where Arunachala, Ramana and we are one, with different names you can call, no difference. After these glimpses, we should make sure our surrender is complete. Don't leave a trace of ego. No one left even to say that I have surrendered. pray to Lord that accept my surrender, finish me completely, let you and me become one. When our surrender is complete, we stop living like a separate individual. We have no worries. We have left destiny of this body to continue as it is planned. Because there is already a plan for every body, a divine planning how it will move. Leave it to that. Stay in your own stillness in your heart. Let things unfold for body and around body. Watch this unfolding with love, disinterested in actions, worldly actions of an individual. Our disinterest doesn't stop things happening, they still happen. But you have no burden. You move freely in self-abidance. If we surrender and after a while we start getting anxious about this is not happening, that is not happening, whatever it is, that means there is no surrender. It is only lip service. Let's say you are in a job and you give a resignation letter and say, I'm not coming to work from tomorrow. I'm resigning from all my duties. And your boss accepts your resignation. But next day you come back again wearing your tie and your coat. Now, boss has made arrangements for that job to be done. But you come back again. Whose fault is this? When we surrender from our core and we still worry, that shows that surrender is incomplete, or maybe no surrender is there. Surrender means giving up doership, not the action. Action of the body will continue the way it needs to be. The way it is programmed. It will not live one breath more or less than what it is planned. Whatever you do, I'll tell you a secret, even this, that everything is predetermined, is to help you to surrender. If you know it is not predetermined, then ego can never die. It will always be choosing this and that and doing this and doing that and worrying about thousands of things. Then you can't be witnessing things. You will always be in doership mode. Calling it destiny gets out of the free will of your ego. Once you are free from ego, then it is real free will. Now you are free from the bodily actions and destiny. You realize that destiny of body is not our destiny. With one wrong notion that destiny of body is my destiny, we suffer. We were there before this body and we will be there after this body. Body is a transient phenomena in our existence. It has a role to play. But we need to understand that this is also the time to know who we are and give up this identification with body. Use all the tools available, whatever works for you. Whatever teacher, guru, path, teachings, practice, image, idol, pilgrimage, whatever works for you. But be free from the disease of ego. As long as ego stays, you are in constant noise of mind. Which never stops. Constant noise of the mind tells us that we are not satisfied with life. We want a change. And this is blasphemy. This is the first sin. Whatever Absolute has planned for this body, if we are not happy and we are resisting, that means there is duality in it. There is that absolute divine awareness. And we are separate with ego, with the body as an individual, and trying to change the course of destiny by putting efforts for that reason. You know, the moment you merge in pure awareness, individual has died forever. There are no personal goals, personal ambitions, personal agenda of any type. Some people even say that the body becomes an instrument of God or divine. This only happens when our surrender is complete. Then we realize that all the energy to the body comes from awareness. All the planning comes from awareness. Actions of the body comes from awareness. There is no individual operating in this body. There is no middleman. This realization comes when our identification is with that pure awareness. When the ego has dissolved, when the surrender is complete, then when I and mine has disappeared, then we are in this body and outside this body and every body. It is a big transformation from the tiny individual. You transform to everything. Sometimes it appears that the drop has not merged in the ocean. Maybe the whole ocean has come into the drop. Understand all our weaknesses are the weaknesses of ego, and you cannot fix it. This is the nature of ego. Greed, selfishness, fear, anger, attachments, desires, lust. They are animal instinct in us. Only way we can fix it, move to the higher plane of pure awareness. Take away energy from that ego, and the ego will die. We are pure awareness. There is no locus for awareness. It is in, it is outside, it is everywhere. It has no religion, no name, no form. It is independent of any other support. No dependence on anything. End result of surrendering is there is no I, there is no mine, no ego, no separation. Understand self can only be known by self. Ego can never know self. Ego is the only obstacle to know self. People talk about personal life, personal goals. This person is the obstacle to enter the Supreme. What we call as personal is known by the Absolute all the time. We have called this personal so many times in the past, and all those stories are now dust. So many people have lived on this earth before us. When they were living, they were thinking it is so important. They built palaces, castles. They did so many things. They thought it was so important. And we think others die, we don't die. In a way, it is true, but not with the body's identification. What we call as personal in our life is all about this body, its senses, feeding senses with pleasure. We accumulate all things which can give pleasure to our eyes, ears, taste, body, touch. This is what we call as personal. And this personal body one day deceives us. It becomes diseased, old, and then die. And so much we have done for this body. Some people are fitness freak. They always look what they are eating, exercise, and I'm not saying that is wrong, but still the body will die one day. We have invested so much in this body and this body's relationships with others and its job and its living. And one day, this body deceives us. Name of the body, job of the body, which we think are we, disappears. But because of our attachment to this body, we get another new body and it continues. It's like a recycle. It stops only when one day we question it and we think it's enough of this job, we want to resign from this devotion. We want to go back to source. And the day this question arises, this is the grace of the Lord. Otherwise, you see, people are walking around us. Nobody even questions or thinks. They have no time. As if everyone is under a spell of Maya. For this body, they can kill another body. They can insult, they can show others low. That ego is also a part of mind only. Mind talking to mind. Whatever we believe becomes our word, and then we get trapped. On this earth, there are so many countries. Their name keeps changing, boundaries keep changing. They merge, they divide. Same with cities, names. Even our name changes. As a child, there might be some other name, now a different name. People build houses, someone else buys that house, demolishes, builds a new house. Everything is changing. And nothing is permanent. That is why this whole world is illusory. Only thing which is unchanging is us. Identify with that. Be with that. Then attain that supreme knowledge. You are that knowledge. In public, we behave in a different way. When we are alone, we behave in a different way. We keep a public image, a Facebook image, Instagram image. We don't know what we are. Liberation is the easiest thing, but also the most difficult, because we are addicted to this ego. We have invested in this body so much. Now, if someone says you are not the body, we think all our life I have done so much for it. We have collected garbage, what we call as tools for pleasure, which keeps us busy all the time. Don't think we attain wisdom as we grow old. When we grow old, we are more addicted to all these things. But because we cannot taste things that well, we can't see that well, we can't indulge in sensual pleasures, we get more frustrated. I see people in their 80s and 90s watching television for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. What are we watching? For whom? What is the purpose? Whom are we entertaining? My firm belief is wisdom comes with grace. Knowledge dawns by some divine grace only. Otherwise, pull of the Maya is so strong. To get out of it, you need a very strong pull from inside. That is why they say there are chosen few by the Lord who brings them to that kingdom of God. And surrender is the answer. When the grace is on us, keep praying that my surrender should be complete to you, that we become one. Accept my marital garland, make me one with you. If the actions or body are not right, please forgive me. I have no clue. You are running this whole world. You have so much of power. And I know I cannot do anything at my level. If you have shown me this path, I have come so far with you, then please do everything. I plead, I request, I beg. You do everything for me. Finish this individual person in this body. Make me one with yourself. So I don't feel any separation. In a seeker's life, first he has no clue. Then he knows that there is this. Then he develops deep faith. Then there is dispassion for whatever is around us. And still he is not there established. It appears like a man on fire. You want to be there. You are in the middle, not there, not here, but somewhere in the middle. And it is so painful for that longing. And then you merge and become one by grace of Lord. And you realize that you were just dreaming that you were separate. We are always that. Only self exists as unchanging reality. Rest everything is transient. We are that pure self. Self is free from all afflictions. Self is beyond time and space. Self has no name, but we can call by name. It has no form. But the form of the body which has realized, we can use that form for our convenience to be there. Anyone can tap into it, whether they are religious or non-religious. Nothing matters, only your interest in it. Otherwise, it's just a play of grace. Pay respect to your small, spasmodic experiences. Take them as your signpost that you are going towards the summit of liberation. And be more humble. Self is our real guru. It is pure intelligence. Mind is conditioned. Self is pure. Abide in your blissful silence. We are not the body. We are not the mind. We are only awareness. With or without body. We are this unchanging reality. Once found, don't move from here. Whatever comes and goes or happens. With sustained efforts, fire of self will finish off whatever traces of ego are left. And then it becomes natural, sahaj, effortless, eternal. All practices will drop on their own. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.